Tory Lanez was stabbed 14 times by another inmate at a California prison. He suffered 2 collapsed lungs, but we are told he is now breathing on his own.
Peterson never shot anybody, never even touched that gun, never fired the gun.
I'm advocating for Tory Lanez because the evidence shows that he's innocent and he deserves to be pardoned.
Welcome back to StarHush, where the drama never sleeps and the plot twist keeps spinning. Now hold on, Tory Lanez and a presidential pardon. You heard that right. Whispers have turned into full-on rumors, and the streets are buzzing heavy about a potential political move to bring Tory home. What started as a headline is turning into a wild campaign with big names, backroom talks, and bold plays that nobody saw coming. And let's be clear, this ain't just about what went down that one night. It's looking like a push to repaint the entire story, like someone is out here flipping pages in the script and rewriting the ending. From courtrooms to Capitol offices, something major is cooking, and the temperature just got turned all the way up. Since Tory was convicted, support's been rolling in hard, not just from die-hard fans, but from serious players in entertainment and even politics. We're talking household names stepping in the ring. Amber Rose, Drake, and Chris Brown have all been throwing their weight behind Tory, saying he got the short end of the stick in court and deserves another shot. Now let's start with Amber Rose. She's been loud and proud with her stance. She's not just out here hinting, she's saying it with her full chest. Tory is innocent. In one of her recent interviews, she didn't bite her tongue. She laid it all out, claiming that based on what she saw, Tory didn't do what they said he did, and that alone should have been enough to shut it down. She even dropped Governor Gavin Newsom's name, saying he needs to step in and do the right thing. According to Amber, Tory didn't get a fair shake on that gun charge, and if we're being real, that's a huge part of why he's sitting behind bars right now. She said plain and simple, based on that alone, Tory should be home with his family.
I'm advocating for Tory Lanez because the evidence shows that he's innocent and he deserves to be pardoned by Governor Gavin Newsom. You know, he's 100% exonerated from the gun, and for that alone, he should be home with his family.
Now let's talk about Amber Rose, the boldest voice in the room right now. Say what you want about Amber, but she don't play when it comes to speaking her truth. In this Tory Lanez situation, she is all in with no filter. She's been sounding off in interviews, on social media, and behind the scenes, pushing the idea that Tory shouldn't be locked up. Not now, not ever. Amber made it crystal clear in a recent sit-down that she thinks Tory was done dirty by the system. And it's not just internet noise, she's basing her opinion on direct conversations with Tory himself. That's right, Tory Lanez called her from prison. And according to Amber, he poured his heart out, told her everything from start to finish, no sugarcoating. She said he was emotional, detailed, and totally confident in his innocence. Now here's where it gets spicy. Amber brought up that one text message that's been spinning online like wildfire. The one people love to claim is some kind of confession. Social media ran wild with it, painting Tory as guilty based on a few lines. But according to Amber, that whole narrative is wrong. She said straight up that the message had nothing to do with the night in question. Tory told her it was about a private issue he was dealing with behind closed doors, something emotional, something personal, but not connected to what he was being accused of. And Amber stands on that. From her perspective, the message got twisted and used out of context. She says if people really knew what it was about, they'd be looking at this case completely different. It's not about deflecting blame, it's about people jumping to conclusions without hearing both sides.
I heard the whole story from Tory's mouth. He called me personally from prison, and I now understand why he said sorry, and it's not for any shooting at all. So I'll let him tell that story when he comes home, but the sorry was not for what people think it was for.
And now, let's talk about the biggest name to quietly step into this storm, Drake. While he didn't exactly deliver a speech, he made a serious statement with just one click. Drake reposted a petition to his Instagram story asking Governor Gavin Newsom to pardon Tory Lanez. And next to it, he dropped a short message. Come on soon. That's all he wrote. Simple, subtle, but with major impact. Why is that important? Because Drake rarely puts himself in the middle of any legal or messy public issues. He stays low-key when it comes to controversy. So the fact that he even acknowledged the petition, that alone set social media on fire. Fans were shook. The conversation picked up speed instantly, especially since this is Drake, one of the biggest global names in music. It gave Tory supporters a boost, like some validation from the top of the music chain. Suddenly, people weren't just wondering about Tory's guilt or innocence. They were asking, why would Drake post that if he didn't know something? Now here's where it gets messier. While some celebrities are staying quiet, fans have picked up on the subtle signs. Some stars are still following Tory on social media, while a few have quietly unfollowed Megan Thee Stallion, which people took as them picking sides. For instance, Kim Kardashian was caught playing Tory's music during a live stream. Was it intentional? Maybe, maybe not, but people noticed. And then there's ASAP Rocky, who still follows Tory Lanez but has unfollowed Megan. Even Justin Bieber made headlines after reportedly unfollowing Megan while still keeping Tory on his follow list. These things might seem minor to the average person, but in celebrity culture, that's code. It's a digital signal. Fans didn't miss a beat either. One supporter posted, "Release Tory Lanez. He innocent." And while that may sound like just fan chatter, it's helping drive momentum online, pushing hashtags, starting new debates, and keeping the pressure alive. But let's really get into what took this from celebrity gossip to straight-up political heat. Enter Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna. That's right, a sitting member of Congress jumped into the Tory Lanez controversy with some serious claims. She's called out California Governor Gavin Newsom, demanding action, calling for Tory's sentence to be revisited, and accusing the system of being flawed, full of bias and outside pressure. She claimed the trial wasn't fair, the evidence didn't add up, and that it was never about justice. It was about public opinion. And she's not stopping with words. She promised that new explosive evidence is coming within 36 hours, something that could supposedly flip the case upside down. That got everyone talking because if true, this could shift the entire narrative from that courtroom verdict to a whole new chapter. Of course, Megan's legal team is not letting any of that slide. Her attorney clapped back hard, saying Tory had a full and fair trial and was rightfully convicted based on the facts. Megan herself made a rare statement, blasting the claims online. She said loud and clear, "He did it. Facts don't lie." And then added that people trying to twist the truth are part of a hate campaign built to discredit her. But just when things were already boiling, it took a serious turn. Reports came out that Tory Lanez was involved in an incident while in custody. According to sources, he was badly injured. Not a minor scuffle, but a serious altercation. He was reportedly hurt multiple times, suffered a collapsed lung, and had to be put on a breathing machine.
Tory Lanez was stabbed 14 times by another inmate at a California prison. He suffered 2 collapsed lungs, but we are told he is now breathing on his own.
Now here's where things really start feeling like a thriller straight off a streaming series. Word in the streets? That attack on Tory Lanez might not have been just some random moment behind bars, it might have been calculated. And no, it wasn't some misunderstanding with his cellmate named Brandon, like people were originally whispering. The timing was just too perfect. The incident happened right before his team was about to drop some game-changing evidence that, according to them, could totally flip the case. Now this is where it gets messy and political. There have been whispers, serious whispers, that someone out there wants Tory to stay behind bars, no matter what. And people online have started throwing around some bold theories, saying powerful forces in the industry might be involved, even hinting at Roc Nation, the label that backs Megan, possibly trying to keep things quiet. Is it confirmed? Number. But it's giving major chess moves behind the curtain vibes, like someone's working overtime to make sure Tory doesn't get another shot at freedom. Meanwhile, Tory's legal team didn't just sit back. They came through with a bombshell of their own. They dropped new evidence that's got people raising eyebrows fast. At the center of it all is Kelsey Harris, Megan's ex-best friend and someone who was right there the night everything went down. According to Tory's team, Kelsey might actually be the one who fired that weapon. Yeah, you heard that right. Kelsey was questioned during the original trial, and when asked if she saw Tory fire the weapon, she pleaded the fifth. That means she refused to answer, which left the whole courtroom on edge. And let's be real, why would someone do that unless they had something major to hide? But that's not all. Tory's team also released an audio recording that's now making the rounds online. In this clip, someone described as a witness tells officers that the shots came from a woman, not Tory. You can hear them say it clearly. Even crazier, according to this same witness, there was some wild chaos happening before it all went down, like something straight out of a fight scene. Allegedly, Megan and Kelsey were in a full-on argument and things got physical. We're talking yelling, scratching, swinging, pure mayhem. The driver apparently had to jump out just to break it up. And Tory, according to the testimony, he was sitting quietly in the back seat, not involved at all.
So the girl comes out of the rear passenger and she goes to the front passenger. And she opens up the car door?
Yeah.
And then what happens?
They're screaming and shouting at each other and they start fighting.
The two girls?
Yeah, I can see one like feet coming out trying to kick her and the other one's fighting and then the passenger
Now, if all this really went down the way it's being laid out, then let's just say it. Tory might actually be innocent. And yeah, that would mean he's not just fighting to clear his name, he might actually deserve a full presidential pardon. But wait, there's more! Tory Lanez has been speaking from behind bars and making serious claims about what went down in court. According to him, the prosecutor didn't just make a mistake, they straight up twisted the facts about the DNA evidence. Here's what he's saying. Tory claims the court was told his DNA on the firearm was inconclusive, meaning they couldn't confirm if it was his or not. But Tory says that's not even close to the truth. He says the official report actually shows that his DNA was completely excluded, as in not found on the firearm at all. Now, if that's true and the court was told something different, that's a big deal. We're talking about evidence that could have changed everything, from the jury's decision to the sentencing. If the jury believed his DNA might have been on the weapon, but it really wasn't, that opens the door for some serious legal questions and possibly even a retrial.
I am 100% excluded, not inconclusive like they said when I was in trial. I'm 100% excluded from this gun when it comes to DNA.
Now, if any of this is true, how did Tory even end up behind bars in the first place? Because honestly, the deeper we dig, the more the whole thing starts to look like one big setup. There's just too much that isn't lining up. And just when things couldn't get any wilder, in comes Unite the People, a nonprofit group that works for justice and clearing names in questionable convictions. These folks aren't just talking, they held a full-on press conference to spill some brand new tea. And what they revealed, let's just say it has the internet shook. Their lead attorney, Walter Roberts, came forward with what could be a game changer. He claims that Bradley James, the personal bodyguard of Kelsey Harris, told him something shocking. According to Bradley, he overheard Kelsey herself admit that she was the one who actually fired the weapon that night. Yes, you heard that right. He says Tory didn't fire a single shot and that instead of starting the mess, Tory was actually trying to stop it from going too far. Bradley claims that when the gun went off, Tory wasn't even holding it. He was trying to wrestle it away and de-escalate the chaos. The weapon allegedly went off during that struggle. Now this part right here, it matches up with other witness reports from the night of the incident. Remember, there were already rumors flying about two women arguing, throwing hands, and dragging each other. Tory, he was reportedly caught in the middle of it all, not the one pulling the trigger, but trying to keep things from exploding. But it's not just lawyers and bodyguards speaking up now. Tory's own father, son Lanez, is not staying quiet either. He came out swinging after the conviction, literally outside the courtroom, on fire with emotion. He told reporters, "I just witnessed the biggest injustice right here in Los Angeles." And he didn't stop there. He called out names on camera, blaming specific people and powerful forces for the outcome of his son's case. He pointed fingers at Megan's legal team, Roc Nation, and even named Desiree Perez, the COO of Roc Nation, as well as Jay-Z himself. Sunstar claims they played a part in a corrupt system that didn't care about fairness, only about protecting certain narratives. Now here's where the rumors start turning into a full-on firestorm. Word on the street is that Tory Lanez might have been locked up this whole time for something he didn't even do, and the people who want him to stay locked up, let's just say they're not your average haters. Enter the talk of the presidential pardon, and suddenly the energy in this whole situation has shifted. People close to the case are whispering that some powerful names are not happy that Tory could be walking free. And topping that list, allegedly Megan Thee Stallion and music mogul Jay-Z. Here's what folks are saying. Megan is signed under Roc Nation, Jay-Z's powerhouse label. And when Tory Lanez reportedly turned down a deal with Roc Nation years ago, whew, some say that's where all the friction started. Sources claim Jay wasn't thrilled about Tory staying independent and doing his own thing, especially in an industry where power means control. And let's just say, when you don't play the game the way the big bosses want, things can get real sticky, real fast. Now, some folks online are calling this a classic power struggle, saying that Roc Nation might have more to gain from Tory staying behind bars than we thought. From controlling the narrative to keeping certain stories buried, people are wondering if this legal mess wasn't just about justice, but about leverage. And with the presidential pardon starting to gain traction, sources say the Roc Nation team is scrambling, working overtime behind the scenes to make sure this pardon doesn't go through. Allegedly, they're even trying to keep new evidence from reaching the public, hoping to stall any momentum building in Tory's favor. Fans are starting to connect the dots, too. Some have accused Jay-Z of not riding for the culture the way he claims, saying he's playing both sides, helping some people rise while others get pushed aside. And with Megan's legal case supported by Roc Nation, there's a growing belief that Tory's downfall may have been fueled by more than just the courtroom. This isn't just messy, it's a full-on power play, and the whole world's watching. Because let's be real, a presidential pardon doesn't just let someone out of prison. It's a major statement that says the system got it wrong, that the evidence didn't hold up, that maybe, just maybe, this man should never have been convicted in the first place. Now here's the real reason this pardon is setting off alarms behind the scenes. It's not just about freedom, it's about what freedom means in this case. If Tory Lanez gets that presidential pardon, it doesn't just clear his name. It starts unraveling the whole story that's been pushed since day one. And that's what has some folks sweating. Because let's be honest, this isn't just a courtroom fight anymore, it's a battle over reputation, legacy, and power. For Megan Thee Stallion, Jay-Z, and Roc Nation, this pardon could allegedly flip their whole narrative upside down. We're talking major damage to Megan's version of events, which her career has leaned on for years now. If it gets questioned, that puts her brand in real trouble. Meanwhile, Tory's supporters are calling this a long overdue chance to fix what they say was a rushed conviction, built more on buzz and bias than real proof. They say too many people were too quick to believe the worst without looking at the full picture. And now, with witness statements, affidavits, and new info floating around, the heat is rising fast. This fight, it's happening in courtrooms, conference rooms, and on social media timelines. Everyone's scrambling to control the story, and the stakes couldn't be any higher. A pardon at this level doesn't just help Tory walk free, it calls out the system. It says, you got this one wrong and now we're fixing it. Let's be real, even for a second. If that pardon goes through, it sends shockwaves through the whole industry. It might just shine a spotlight on every power play, every shady move, and every voice that was silenced to protect the bigger narrative. It could mean a full restart for Tory, and a real challenge for anyone who stood in his way. And now people are asking the big question, will the White House step in? Could we really hear the words, "I pardon Tory Lanez" coming from a president? It sounds wild. But in 2024, nothing is off the table. Whether it's Trump or another name in the mix, the pressure is definitely reaching the top levels. So will this new evidence flip the script, or are we just gearing up for another wild chapter in a saga that refuses to end? This story is far from done, and whatever comes next might just change everything. And now let me know what you think in the comments. Was this justice or just politics in disguise? Do you think Tory deserves a second shot, or should the case be left alone? Hit that like, smash subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss the next bombshell drop. Until next time, my stars and hushers, stay sharp and stay watching because the tea, it's not done spilling yet.